So it's not all in all cities. It's in Las Vegas. Amazon Prime Now is an app on your phone. You write this down. Check when you're at home or your zip code or whatever. You can order something and it'll come through the door in 1 to 2 hours. So basically what they've done is they've set up these smaller warehouses with things that are in demand, dispensables, consumables, and so forth. Things like water, batteries, juice, milk, whatever the case may be, some popular items. And so what they've done is they've hired like Uber drivers. People in their individual cars, they'll go to the warehouses and come to your door in 1 to 2 hours. Pretty amazing. So they just started that in Asia. And the reason they're starting that is because it's a test and it'll eventually grow. So this is not a fad, this is a trend that's growing, right? Have you ever seen or noticed wherever you live, like in New York, for example, Roz, you see some retail stores closing a lot more now? Why is that? E-commerce, that's the bottom line. So the challenge is this, what John's doing is awesome, and we work together quite a bit. When people are searching for information on the internet, are they looking to pay for that information or are they looking for free? Free. When you buy a physical product, right? When I buy this, am I looking to get it for free or do I know I have to pay? No, I have to pay, right? And when do I want it? Wrong, yesterday, right? With Amazon and everything, we're programmed, like, come on, why isn't it here right now? It's like a microwave looking at it, like, come on, stop, right? So that's really what it's all about. When you're selling physical products, you're dealing with buyers, not prospects. Do you understand that? You're dealing with buyers, not prospects. So when you're selling your fitness, your training, if it's information, whatever, how are you different than anything else? I know John's working on you with the marketing, your USP and so forth. I get that. I also know that if you have a physical location, just like chiropractors, we spoke in Orlando, that they have a physical location, how can they expand beyond a physical location? Because it's only limited by the people in their geographic area, right? You're only limited by the people there as well. So how do you do that? It's a grind, and if somebody else comes into town, now you have a lot of competition and so forth. The people that are succeeding the most are they're combining the best of both worlds, the information, and they're combining the physical products together. How they're attracting the people to buy the physical products and services is through information marketing. Information marketing by putting out some solid content that John's shown you how to do. If you put out solid content, you're doing what I call kushka marketing. Kushka or sabaka. I'm Ukrainian, I speak Russian, so I just spoke recently. You're smiling, you understand what I'm saying? Okay. Say, oh, maybe my accent's wrong. Sabaka means dog. Kushka means cat. So for when I speak in Russia, I speak like this, right? For most of you don't understand. It works like this. Amerikansky boy, for what you smiling like this with Hollywood smile? You think you know our culture? You know nothing. Drink some vodka, давай, nobody die. Right? So what happens is this. Most of us are doing sabaka marketing. And that's like, you're jumping all over everybody, right? And you're licking them and jumping and buy my stuff, buy my stuff, buy my stuff. And they're like, okay, I'll buy it this one time if you just leave me alone. Kind of sound like MLM. Now, I'm not knocking MLM, but that's what happens, right? Kushka marketing is a cat. Cat is like, for what you waste my time, right? It's pulling away, it's attracting. They're like, wait, I want to work with you. That's what you want. You want people chasing you. You want people following you by providing good content, providing a brand, providing something of value that you stand out from everybody else. Once you give them some solid content, then you combine that with a physical product. The best physical products that you can combine with your business are the ones that make the most sense. Why do MLMs use the lotions, potions, and pills? Why?
Continuity or residual?
Write this down. Continuity, correct. I feel like I can't move too far. Continuity, whoops, that's not a very good one. Let's use, whoops, am I still on? Okay, good. I've got a wireless one if you want to use it.
No, it's okay, you're fine.
The wireless ones are great.
Why is that not writing on there?
You know why? Because you just cleaned it. And it's still wet.
You want to try this?
So continuity is one. Another thing is, right, how do you get the continuity? Is by consumable. It's okay, I'll just talk. Okay. Consumable, right? They're all consumables, right? On top of that, high profit margins. The next thing is small in space. Excuse me. So when it has to be stored somewhere, it doesn't take up a lot of volume, right? If you're selling this table, it's a little difficult, right? So something of small volume. Next, small weight. Small weight. Next, it doesn't break. There's not a lot of things that break. A book, for example, it doesn't break, right? The next thing, that you don't have to refrigerate it or something like that, that it doesn't have a quick expiration date, that the expiration date is far into a long period of time. Those are some of the key things, right? So you might say, okay, yeah, protein drinks and powders and shakes and everything else. Possibly. What's happening now that I've seen is this, is a trend that's happening that people are starting to become the CEO of their own health. Do you guys agree? Right? And how that's happened is because of the health system and healthcare, everything that's out there. They're finding that they can't go to the doctor and get in right away. They have to wait a month or two. Or they go in real quickly, they write them a prescription and that's it, right? It's a bandage. It's not getting to the problem. And people are still ill. It happened to me. Brain fog, dizziness, confusion, all these different things. Going to doctors, going to endocrinologists, going to heart doctors, going to neurologists, like can't figure out what's going on. So then I started doing all kinds of research and finding out, okay, it's adrenal fatigue, thyroid, that's a big thing now too with executives and so forth, right? Those are the things that you need to then start addressing. That's the area that's growing big. If you can combine that with your fitness and health and its overall wellness kind of thing, you will do exceedingly well. Does that make sense? It's not just about the fit on the exterior and the muscles and everything else. Now more so, as you have the baby boomers and everything aging, is that we just did a survey. Okay, we're going to be doing a summit with all these health experts. And by the way, I'd be glad to have some of you on it as well too, if you have a certain expertise. And I thought, keto, that's the big thing now. I'm going to do a summit on keto, have all these experts talk about keto, including John, right? So I did a survey and I put it out there. I put keto, men's health, women's health, diabetes, heart, longevity, anti-aging, and autoimmune, right? What do you think was the number one? Anti-aging, longevity, number one. Number two, what do you think? Autoimmune, you got it. I was shocked. I thought for sure keto was number one. For sure, I love keto. I'm studying all this stuff. Keto was last.
Wow.
Last. That was totally shocking to me. So, point is that research your market, right? Research your market and find out what's going on. So, longevity, anti-aging, can you combine that stuff into your services, into your gym, into your training, whatever it is too, that you can combine that? Because deep inside, now obviously if you get somebody that's 20 something, they're like, yeah, whatever, I'm going to live to be 1,000, right? They're not thinking about that. So know your market. It's a message market match, as Dan Kennedy says as well, right? It's really critical. But the key is if you can figure out how you can serve them now and their overall health and how you're different than everybody else, that's where it's going to take you to the next level. So there's different ways to sell physical products online. One is that you can do you've heard the term drop ship. What does drop shipping mean? Does anybody know?
Yeah.
You go ahead and yell it out. What is it?
One-off ordering. Like they mail it for you.
Okay, one-off ordering. Third party.
You place an order to a third party thereby that ships directly to the consumer.
Yeah.
Okay.
It can be automated. I mean, it doesn't have to be one-off, right?
Correct.
Drop ship.
Correct. It can still be automated with one. We've got all kinds of software and auto ordering, repricing, and inventory management, all kinds of cool. When we work with you, you'll see all kinds of ninja stuff. I showed John, it just blew his mind. You don't know what you don't know. So I'm just touching things on the surface and talking in a broad sweep of the brush. Drop shipping essentially is basically where you're not buying the product up front. That's it, right? So, for example, Alibaba a few years ago, nobody knew about it. Alibaba went public, and everybody knows about it, right? Then AliExpress came out and everything else. Now you see all these one plus. What we do is we don't just do Shopify. We do private labeling. We do Amazon. We do FBA. We do eBay. We do international. We do all kinds of things. You'll see a lot of guys talking about just Shopify now and doing something from AliExpress to Shopify or the free plus shipping model. We do all the funnels. I know Russell as well. I see that as well. And I'll be at Funnel Hacking Live next week as well. Also all these different things, right? We look at a whole broad spectrum. I've been doing this a long time. You see a lot of guys that are just jumping in the industry in the last couple of years because real estate went down. They decided to change. I've been doing this behind the scenes for a long, long time. Danny does about $1,000 to $1,500 a month, 11 years old. Yeah, I'll show you that in a moment. So, so kids course. So the cool part about this too is don't just think about yourself about this business. Think about your partners, think about your family, think about your friends, think about your deadbeat friend that always asking you to borrow cash from you, right? And so this is something that's really, really cool. And the cool part is that you don't have to recruit anybody, you don't have to do anything that you're doing kushka marketing, people are coming to you. So I want you to open up your eyes and your ears and think about how could I potentially sell some stuff. What will happen is this, when you really get into the industry, you will have a lot of arrows in your back that you don't know. Amazon will shut you down like that in a flash if you don't know what you're doing. You have a couple of bad reports, different things go wrong that are beyond your control that you don't know about too, and they'll shut you down. When you get shut down by Amazon, it's forever. Forget about the appeal process. They say they have it. Good luck. Ask me how I know about that one, right? It wasn't my fault too. So when we work with you, we show you all these different things. So drop shipping is one way, right? So you want to always get as close to the source that you can to get the best deals. Now, what do they want typically, the suppliers? There was just a show recently here. I've taken John to it. It's called the ASD show. You can write that down. ASD. It's the largest supplier show outside of China, the Canton Fair. It's called the ASD show. It's every March and August. The next one's coming out in August. What we do is we actually take some of our high-end clients. We have a boot camp, and we go and talk with the suppliers, and we come back in a boot camp and discuss how to work with them and so forth. So the next thing is private label. What's private label? Private label is when you have something, but it's your own brand. It's your own label that's on it as well, too. All of you should have a private label brand. Every single one of you should have that. Particularly if you're chiropractors, into fitness, whatever. Every single one of you. If not, you should have a JV relationship with some other company because, if you're saying you should be taking more vitamin D, you're not getting enough sunlight. Okay, well, have a relationship with that company that has the vitamin D. Or better yet, you have your own brand and so forth, right? As well that you take and make sure it's good quality stuff too, right? GMP, the whole thing. So, private labeling is important as well. Now, what are some of the things that you can do in e-commerce to do continuity, right? We just talked about the lotions, potions, and pills. What are some of the things that you can do?
Product-wise?
Overall, to make more money. How many people here are a member of Costco? What do you have to pay annually? Costco. Membership. Really? Why do you have to pay a membership?
That's where they make their money.
Do you know how much money they make off of that $99 per year, whatever? That's front-end loading. Write that down. Front-end loading. That you can then charge somebody a membership to become part of your buyer's club. What's a buyer's club? It gives them a discount, gives them a right to shop, right? All of a sudden now they will get a discount. So what do people do? It's creating loyalty. Are you getting that? I need to shop there just to break even. Are you seeing that? It's getting them to come back. It's getting them to buy again because they got to break even on their $99 or something. Do you see that? Amazon Prime, same way. You see that? They're making money off of that. So you all should have a buyer's club. Now, was that a nugget? You think I might have a few more, right? A discount club, a super savers club, a deal of the month club, an instant, whatever it is too, urgency, some kind of thing that creates loyalty to you to keep on coming back, right? I've talked to John about this too, and John did it. All you guys should do it if you haven't done it, is create an association. An association. Association immediately makes you a COI. What's a COI? A center of influence. In high school, well, my parents, I shouldn't say this, we're live streaming now. In high school, my parents would go away for the weekend, and I'm in high school. My sister was, a year or 2 years younger than me. I would invite all the guys, she'd invite all the girls, and we would have a party at our house. I was a center of influence. I was popular because of that. I became a center of influence. So you need to have your own party, right? That you become some kind of center of influence. An association makes you an authority. It makes you a center of influence. Now all kinds of advertisers will want to come to you. Now, by the way, your association, what can you get for them being a member? Fees, membership fees, front-end loading, another form of loyalty. Are you seeing that? So they're coming there for all kinds of information as well. Is this valuable? You guys getting anything?
Yes.
But I thought you didn't want to do physical products, right? You see? So now what can you have on your association site? It can be linked to your other site, and you can also have your line of stuff like you have and whatever too, right? Have expert columnists that want to contribute, whatever. When they contribute and when they recommend something and they click and the reader, with the whatever you want to say, the viewer watches that, it clicks and it goes to their product, who gets paid as well? You should, with your association, affiliate link, whatever. Or you sold that ad space as well. Do you see the multiple ways that you can make money on this? It's crazy, right? And then you make sure that your database is segmented. We've got guys, our tech department are really into that too, the segmenting and all the different funnels and all kinds of crazy stuff too that you can happen. So now you're combining the info with the real physical world stuff too on different platforms. All I can tell you is this: when you sell physical products, I call it the easiest online home-based business on the planet. That's what I call it. And it really is. Because when they buy, it just keeps on going. And when you have a hot product, it goes nonstop. You guys ever heard, I'm sure you heard of Organifi, right? It's the first physical product on ClickBank, right? He just spoke at TNC, right? And so he then combined FitLife TV, right? Did a lot of videos and so forth, and now talked about that. Now he's come out with the red juice, Beats. He's come out the gold one, whatever too, right? And that's combining, and now he has continuity, right? He's got the better, best, and so forth, and where you can buy one, and then the upsell is what? 2 more. It's like, right? Like that. And then now it's on auto ship. Write that down to all your stuff. You should see that. Think about this. When you buy on Amazon, right? There's an orange button up there. Anybody know what that's called? Buy box. A buy box. Right? If you win the buy box, that means you have been chosen. That's you there in the buy box. You will get 75% of the sales. Now, how do you win the buy box? Amazon's different than eBay, isn't it? On eBay, you need to create your own listing, correct? Right? And there's 1,000 different listings of that same product, right? On Amazon, how many listings are there of that one product?
But we're talking.
One. It's one, right? There's something called an ASIN. ASIN, that stands for Amazon Seller Identification Number. It's like the serial number of that product on Amazon. So if you sell that product on Amazon, you're one of the sellers of that product. Now, most people won't even look real closely, and they'll just press that orange button. But if you look real closely, it'll say down below, other sellers have it for. Have you seen that?
Yes.
Right? Most people don't even look at that, right? So some people will click on that and scroll through it and everything, but most of the time they'll buy that. And do you know this? That orange button, the buy box, is not always the cheapest one. Do you realize that too, right? It's not. It's not. Sometimes it is. How you win the buy box is you have to sell on FBA. FBA means fulfilled by Amazon. Who doesn't know what the difference between MF and FBA is? Who does know what that means? Okay, here it is. FBA means fulfilled by Amazon. MF means merchant fulfilled. So I can sell 2 ways on Amazon my stuff, right? One is that I can keep it in a warehouse or my garage or whatever, and when somebody orders, I fulfill it, or a third-party warehouse fulfills it. They do. Fulfill means pack, pick, ship, fulfill. That's overall fulfillment, right? Okay. FBA means fulfilled by Amazon. If you look real closely when you buy it, it'll say sold by ABC wholesalers, fulfilled by Amazon. Have you seen that? Or it'll say sold by Amazon, fulfilled by Amazon as well. It's their own products. It's their own products. So here's what happens. When you want to sell on Amazon, you should fulfill by Amazon, FBA if possible. Now, is it expensive? Yes, it is. They'll take a nice chunk. However, is it worth it? Yes, it is. Number one, it takes you out of the game of having to do all that stuff. Number two is when people are searching for items on Amazon, what do you think pops up in the searches? FBA first or merchant fulfilled? It's obvious, right? FBA. So right away, you're at the top, right away. And if you're guys like me that are shoppers, I don't care if it's an extra $1 or $2. Your profit margins are higher if you sell on FBA. People will pay more. I will pay more every single day to get it there in 2 days and no hassle returns and everything. Would you guys do? Yeah, so you're that audience also. Not everybody does. right? And that's okay. So you'll have a higher profit margin also on that. And they have what's called FBA calculator. You can write that down. And it shows you on the FBA calculator if you were to sell that product on your own or send it into FBA. But FBA is great. You send it in, you just get a check every 2 weeks. That's it. They handle everything. You customer service, returns, all kinds of things too. They'll handle it for you too. And what else are they doing that will cost you a ton of money that John's an expert at, but he still can't beat Amazon probably? Traffic, right? Traffic. The top search engines besides Google are what? Yahoo and Amazon. Excuse me, Yahoo, YouTube and Amazon. Would you agree? Yeah. So people will do this too. They will search on Amazon and then they'll go find the product, or they'll find the product and they'll go search on Amazon back and forth. You ever done that? Yeah. There's all kinds of cool ninja things that we do that we can show you too, with repricing and everything else too, and cash back and all kinds of crazy things. My point is that you should be utilizing everything that you can. Let me see if this works now. Think it'll work?
Yeah. Chances are.
Yay! All right, cool. So let's pretend this is a bicycle wheel. The center is the hub. These are the spokes. On the outside, you can have different things. eBay, Amazon, Craigslist. Guys, if you're not selling on this, you should. Ladies know what that is, right? Yes. How many guys have heard of Etsy before? How many? Oh, wow, amazing. Most guys haven't. How many guys have not heard of Etsy? Oh, you have. Great. Okay, good. So a number of different things. It could be Jet. You've heard of Jet now, too. It could be Walmart. Okay. That's another one, too. Did you know you can also sell on Walmart? Yep. They have a marketplace right now. Did you also know that Sears, they're going out of business pretty much, right? But now they've started a fulfillment center just like Amazon. So now you can send it to their warehouses and they'll do a fulfillment. Why would you do that? Well, possibly you got shut down on Amazon or something too, or whatever, right? So they have a whole fulfillment center. So here, these are called platforms. We call websites in the industry, we call them platforms. Okay, a platform. So when we say, what platform are you selling on? These are platforms. What's at the center of all of this? Your fulfillment center. Your fulfillment center. Who can that be? It can be Amazon, for example, right? So in Amazon, in this case, they're acting as two things. They're acting as one of my sellers, one of my spiders out here, but they're also acting as this. So we have software, we know software, we can show you software. Anytime an order comes in, Craigslist is a little bit hard, it's the real world one, what we call. But any of these, it'll go into Amazon automatically, and it'll say ship to this person automatically too. And we also have software that keeps track of your inventory as well, also let you know when to reorder and what have you. Now I know I'm just throwing a lot of nuggets at you and there's no structure to it, I get that. I just want to just bombard you with a ton of information to kind of make you see what's going on. This is the kind of thing that you should have. How many platforms should you be on?
All of them you can.
As many as possible. And that's USA, right? Where else should you be? Canada, right? Australia's a little tough right now because they're still new and growing. It's pretty much almost just books for now. It's like unbelievable, but imagine the opportunity. Yes, should be as many as possible kind of thing too. You should be fishing in as many oceans as possible, right? And that's it. The cool part about physical products too, there's no lead time. As soon as you put that line of water, you can get a bite immediately. Immediately. Like you can sell stuff tonight. You really can too. The challenge is when you're doing big things, like you'll hear some gurus will say, well, just buy from China and just get all the stuff from nowhere to get a deal and then send it into Amazon and you have a warehouse of stuff and away you go. Is it that easy? We've gotten clients that have said, I got burned. I bought $5,000 worth of stuff. I bought their $5,000 program. And guess what happened to their inventory? They had some green tea. Green tea. They sent it to Amazon. What do you think happened to it? Close, not quite. It expired, but it didn't expire. It was still 90 days out. You don't know what you don't know. Amazon has a policy, if it's coming up on 90 days, they will trash it. Wow. They didn't know that. The guru didn't tell them that. They're out 10 grand now. Now they're working with us kind of thing too. So you don't know what you don't know. You can get really hurt in the industry if you don't know. What they should have taught that person is this. Write this down. Go to the suppliers and say, do you have samples? Do you have samples? Like, for example, with what you just did, you could have said, do you have samples? Maybe you did. Do you have samples? Now, it really means free sample, but if you want to sound like a pro, do you have samples? They'll say, well, what for? You say, well, you use these terms. I have a number of distribution channels. I have a number of distribution channels. And they'll say, okay, great. And say, I want 5 or I want 10 or whatever the case may be. Now, the worst case scenario, what might you have to pay for, do you think? Shipping, yeah. Try to get that for free too if possible. We do sometimes, right? And just pay for the shipping. Now, what should you do with that item? Here's what you're doing. You're basically seeing this. How long did the fulfillment take, right? What does the packaging look like? Was it bundled good? So you're doing what I call riding a ride. You're acting like the consumer, the customer. How did it feel, the overall experience? Do I want to deal with them too in the future, right? So you get that. Now you can keep some of that for yourself if you want, but what you want to do now is you want to take that samples or those samples and you want to put that out on the platforms, whatever platform that is that you're selling, right? FBA, whatever. Why do you want to do that?
You want to test what people want.
Exactly. You want to test something called, write this down, sell-through rate. Sell-through rate. How fast does it sell within 30 days? Does it sell within 30 days? That's the cycle that you want to be watching. 30-day cycle, okay? You want to see what kind of ranking it has on Amazon, all these things. You don't want to go and invest in all this inventory. I will not let you invest in all this inventory. There's no. Start like this. Start with the drop shipping. Start with different things. Before you do private labeling, that's fine. Let's test before we do private labeling. I don't want you to do that. Now, once you've tested it, product's good, now let's say, well, can you do another round of sampling? And then do it again. And if it works again, okay, great. Now, you want to work on something. Now, they're going to ask you to do what? To buy what? A minimum order, right? And that's called MOQ. MOQ. And that stands for minimum order quantity. Minimum order quantity. How much do you want? As minimal as possible. How much do they want? As maximum as possible. Now, when you're starting off in private label, they will want a larger run, more because it costs them more initial one, right? If it's not private label, it'll be less. Does that make sense? Like, is yours private label?
We're a specification developer.
Oh, you are? Okay, wonderful. Wonderful. You have a patent on it?
510K.
Okay, good. So you're on the right track then too. So you want to make sure that you're going all these phases. Don't just jump into something. I want to do private label right away and everything else. Test. Test as the market want it. It's not what you want to sell. That automatic dill pickle slicer may not be the best selling item, okay? It's what they want. I was going to do keto. I was set. I was getting the URL, everything. And guys go, Larry, you always talk about surveying. Okay, I'll do a survey. I was shocked. I'm like, okay, I guess we'll do the anti-aging longevity one instead. Give people what they want, not what you think they want. You got that? So that's what's important too. Yeah, but you need to really bulk up on that chest. I know that, but I care about right now how I feel, right? That's more important to me right now. Give them what they want, not what you think, okay? And you will make a lot more money, right? And you've got to start thinking about that way to do those kind of things too. Again, you don't know what you don't know. Now, does this take a lot of work? Not necessarily, no. Once you get something that really sells, it'll keep on rolling too. If you just create anything else, a buyer's association is coming soon and they're at a, grandfathered in at a lower rate or whatever it is too, you've got an instant influx of cash. Do you guys agree? Just that one idea alone can be worth thousands of dollars. An association, whatever, 2,000. Nesta, it's association, right?
Heck yeah, it is.
Okay. He has no competition. That's the good
I
part.
have competition, but we're probably about in the top 5 in the country.
Has that helped you in any way? Just a little bit, right?
Yes.
Just a little bit.
Yes.
You see?
Yes, it has.
You saw I worked with Tony's. I was partners with Tony Robbins, right? And Tony said this, success leaves clues, right? Don't reinvent the wheel. Just figure it out. Look, they had selfie sticks, right? Selfie sticks were really huge a few years ago. They went down. It's coming back for guys like John, right?
Hey, nice.
It never went
Remember, I'm the
away.
control.
Now, some guy came up with an idea. There's one problem. Have you ever tried to take a photo at night with the Las Vegas sign, our famous Las Vegas sign? You're backlit, right? So what happens if you're trying to take a selfie with that? What happens? You're all dark, right? So this guy, you know what? So he came up with the idea of getting a selfie stick with 2 little lights on it too. When you click it on, there's lights too. So it lights up. That's pretty cool. Then the models are like, well, we want that too. Then a guy came up, let's have a little fan so their hair's blowing and everything else too. So they came up with that too. So you can take, what's the point? You can take an idea and how can I make it better? How can I make my instruction better? How can I, something that these guys are doing, how can I take that idea and make it even better, right? Like that too. Even if it's a service, that's the way you got to think too. So when you work with us, we don't just work on an e-commerce thing, we work on a lot of different things, operations, communication skills, all kinds of things that you had no idea. Just a little quick bonus session segue. Watch this, for example. Have you ever had a really important email that you needed to retrieve and you go in your inbox and you can't find it? Anybody else?
All the time.
Right. Or a file or a photo or something like that, right? You just hit save, right, when you're first brand new on your computer and know what you were doing, right? Right. And so let me explain something, right? This is off topic of e-commerce, but to show you some of the stuff that we work with you on efficiency. You get an email. I send you an email. Okay, tell me how you reply to me. So I send you, hey, you know, it's great meeting you at the event, blah, 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 blah. Hey, I'd like to talk to you a little bit later on, whatever, too. So what do? You get that in your inbox. What do?
Say, hey, it was great to meet you as well.
So let's go through the whole steps. You click, where do you click?
Reply.
Reply? Okay, and then what do you do?
Start typing.
Start typing and everything else, and then you hit send, right? Yeah. Anybody else do that? Be honest. Come on. Yeah. Come on, Wolf. Let's get the hand up. I say, okay, guys. We all do that. Yeah. There's one problem. I created the subject line. Hey, good to meet you. Means nothing. He just wants to search Larry Loik, maybe subject line or whatever is he talking about, or Penthouse Group, whatever, too. And I didn't have any reference to that in my email. Can't find it later on. Don't hit reply. And by the way, am I just talking to you? No, talking to all of us. Write this down. Don't just hit reply. Change the subject line to what you think you could reference it later on. So, example, Penthouse Group dash Larry Loik speaker, or something like that. I don't know. Now, it will be archived correctly, so when you do that search, now, here's another thing. I can write a whole bunch of stuff, and when you write an email, where does your content come in? At the top or the bottom? The top, right? The top. So I'm reading, yeah, blah, 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 and then what do I have to do? I have to go back down. What was he talking about? I got to look down, then I go back up to it. Isn't that true? It's so backwards, right? Here's how you get an email from myself and my team. John's seen it. Say, hey, great meeting you, whatever, too. Replies below in caps for ease of reading, or whatever, if it's a different color. So he'll have some comment or question, and I'll separate, and I'll go click, and I'll answer it. He'll have some comment or question, click, I'll answer it. So now it reads like a book. So his question, then my comment, question, comment, question, comment. I don't have to bounce up and down, and I can also now efficiently find that email. Is that cool or what? That nugget right there is a business communication skill you can use for the rest of your life. Is that cool? Yeah, so this is some of the stuff too that we can work with you on to show you that's a lot more efficient way to do things too. Now, what a lot of people will do on email, they'll start talking about all kinds of different stuff in one email. What I will do is this. I will then copy and paste perhaps that one portion and make that one email, then another portion another way. So that way it's segmented into different instead of one big blob of stuff too. Another way is I left align everything so it reads like a newspaper. Maximum of 3 lines. Maximum of 3 lines. So it's not what I call a sea of words. Anyways, that's just a little communication and marketing skills on that too. All right, let's go to the computer here. I want to show you some examples of what's working out there and what you guys should be doing also. All right? Sure.
That central hub you're using for your hub for your operations, interfaces. You use something off the shelf, or what are you using here?
All right. So the question is that hub, what products am I selling and so forth?
Well, all your channels are coming, obviously, from all your marketplaces are coming into a central hub. What system are you using to bring that in? What automations are you?
All right. So the question is what automation, what operation? So some of it's FBA, and they just handle everything, right? And that's it too. And so it's all also, we use software that will have management control, inventory control, auto ordering, all kinds of different things too.
Do you do your own fulfillment?
So if we have our own fulfillment, not anymore, we don't do that. So I'll have maybe a third-party warehouse that may not make sense because there's not enough profit margin or something to have it at Amazon and so forth. But can I have it listed on Amazon under merchant fulfilled? You betcha. You betcha, right? Might as well have it in there anyways. It doesn't cost anything. You understand that? On eBay, it costs for listing. On Amazon, it's not. You don't pay till it's sold, essentially, right? Unless you have a store and all that kind of stuff. Again, I only have a certain amount of time, but when you work with us, we'll answer all your stuff. I have a team. We show you all the software we do. A lot of people will sell stuff online, and I'll say to them, how are you doing? They'll go, not so good. And I'm like, why? Well, I don't know. I said, well, do you have a repricer? And it's the deer in the headlights. What are you talking about? What's that? Anybody ever heard of repricer before? No, most of you, not. Well, watch this. So you're selling against your competition. This is you, this is the competition, right? If the competition goes down and you're not going down, guess what? They're beating you. But what if you had software that monitored when their price goes up, your price goes up. When theirs goes down, yours goes down too. So it's following. And would that be kind of helpful, do you think? Yeah, let's call it auto repricer, right? So you need those kind of things too. Now, if you have your own private label, whatever, you don't need that. Again, I know I'm bouncing all over the place, right? But these are some of the things that you should be doing. The point is that it's a real world business that you can surpass. Chiropractors right now are dealing with a lot of becoming functional medicine, and they're making more than that and have left their practice. I'm not telling you to do that. Understand? I'm not telling you to do that. They're making more money on that too. This lady here, Dr. Tammy, she's based up in Seattle.
Come over like just a little bit.
She's up in Seattle. And ever heard of Bulletproof? Dave Asprey and so forth? So she's been on Bulletproof Radio, Bulletproof blog and so forth about 3 times now too. She's a double board certified real doctor, like a real doctor, right? But she's also a holistic doctor. She has one problem. She's really busy. Anybody real busy here by any chance, right? So she heard about me through a number of different people. And a friend of mine right here in Summerlin said, hey, you really need to work with Dr. Tammy. I'm like, okay, whatever. I forgot about her. I went to the Bulletproof conference. Guess who had a booth there? She did. There's people swarmed around her and so forth, and I just kind of looked like, she's too busy. But then there was a big keynote speaker later in a conference that was on. Danny, can you bring me some water, please? Spasibo, and then I went back and saw her, and she saw my name tag. She goes, I've been hearing about you. I've been wanting to speak with you. Okay, no, just leave it on. Thanks. And so I said, okay. We started talking. We met again here in Las Vegas, and she said, look, I have a whole supplement line and everything else too. I talk to all these people. I recommend all this stuff. I have a real physical clinic. I have clinics in Seattle. Can you help me with our e-commerce? I don't know, possibly. So I went and I visited her. Not only that, but she has a vitality spa, a medi spa too, on top of that. Is that kind of big nowadays? Could you have your own, or could you work with somebody that has one too? She also is well-known stem cell. Is stem cell becoming really popular? Yes. Right? There's a lot of stuff, but the stem cell they work with is fat tissue, right? Adipose. So she's so busy doing all this kind of stuff. She says, can you help me with my e-commerce? I said, tell me more. She says, well, in our office, we have a ton of stuff, a ton of supplements. I said, well, who does the fulfillment? She says, we do. I said, what? Are you kidding me? So there it is that she has also. Now, so she's white labeled that. She's worked with a supplier and so forth, right? And we're working with her, but her sales are horrible, right? So we're working with her to redo the website, make it a little better, become a lot more informational, right? Now she has a ton of patients that obviously she has that luxury then of that database, right, that she can refer to. But we're working with her on bringing her sales through the roof. She's got a whole fulfillment center in her basement of her office too, on the ground floor. It's pretty amazing, right? So she specializes, her avatar that she works with, I'm sure John uses that term with you guys too, is middle-aged ladies, menopause, premenopause, and so forth. Hormonal. Is that huge nowadays? That is huge marketplace, ladies and gentlemen. Huge marketplace right now, right? For years, they didn't know all the things and all the reasons why people were so sick and so forth. That's her book if you want to check it out sometime or get it on Audible. It's really good. It's actually good for us guys too. I learned a lot of stuff from it too. She helped me tremendously. Well, you got to take, glutathione. You got to take, L-glutamine, all these different things too, and leaky gut and all this kind of stuff that I started learning about too, right? That you're starting to hear about, right? That the general audience out there is hearing about too, that you need to incorporate. These are some of the things that she's doing right now, right? I said, well, what's your goal? And she told me some of her goals. I won't tell you what they are, but they're pretty huge. So she has that. So check this out. This is her other site, her Vitality Spa, her spa that she has in Seattle. It's in the same building, and she owns the building too, by the way, right? So you can see, there's her clinic and so forth. It's like 3 floors right on the ocean, so it's pretty neat, pretty neat. She's a great, great lady. She's friends. She goes, yeah, maybe you can work with some of the people that I know. I said, who are the people you know? She goes, John Asseroff. I said, who else? JJ Virgin, Joe Polish. She's laying me off all these people. I'm like, I know all of them, right? She goes, yeah, just give him a call and tell him Dr. Tammy. And so I'm like, yeah, Dave Asprey, I've been on his show a few times. I'm like, what? Well, this will be pretty easy, right? There's some pretty good JVs there, right? So she came to me and said, look, I'm just too busy. I have this stuff. At least she got this stuff too, right? But she comes from a different angle that she doesn't put enough videos. I said, you need to put content. She goes, I wish I had the time. She didn't have that, right? So now there's another gentleman. I mentioned him earlier, right? She's friends with him. Oops. Actually, before I show you, there's her stem cell. She's not too busy, is she? Right? It's her stem cell center. And she's a mom and a wife too on top of that also. Right? So don't tell me that you're too busy. She's pretty busy also, right? So she has that stem cell. She says, well, can you help us with that too, with the call center and everything else? So we're working on that, on the operations side of things too. So to give you an idea too, she's blended her clinics. She could have very easily then said, go to Whole Foods and get that. I have a concierge doctor right here. And he says, yeah, just go to Whole Foods and get, the methylated B12 or whatever too. I'm like, Doc, why don't you have this stuff? Well, yeah, I'm like, dude, hello, I can help you. And he doesn't have that. I'm like, do you know how much money you're losing? He goes, yeah, but I want, here's what doctors feel, a lot of us feel. We don't like to sell people, correct? Nobody likes to sell. But we like to buy, don't we, right? Right? We don't like to be sold to, we like to buy, and we don't like to sell also. So he was like, I don't like to sell. I said, listen, Doc, you're doing me a favor. I don't have to go to Whole Foods. If it's comparable in price, it's good quality, I want to buy from you. Do you understand? I'm here right now with money. And so that's the same thing with your clients. They prefer to buy from you. Do you understand that? They like and trust you. They want to buy from you. Stop referring them out, right? Or letting them go. And you can ask them, hey, where are you buying your stuff? Well, wait a minute, we have a product line, or let me refer you to one that I like. Make sure it's good quality stuff too, right? Make sure that it's USA, it's not outside USA and so forth. This guy here, and I mentioned him earlier. You ever heard of him? Dr. Axe. He's a chiropractor. He left his practice. There's a reason why he left his practice. Anybody know? $100 million a year last year in sales. Yeah, that's why. If you Google anything, Google healthy gut, Google keto, whatever, this guy pops up there. He has amazing videos, amazing infographics, amazing content. That's somebody that you should be watching. That's somebody that you should be modeling. You should subscribe to his stuff too.
You want to give people that are watching this the web address?
Yeah, draxe.com. Dr. Axe. A-X-E.
And while he's writing that up there, there's 2 quick things. The last doctor, the lady, her name is again?
Dr. Tammy.
What is, unrelated to what he said, but I think is brilliant. He says she owns the building for her clinic.
Yeah.
So what did she do? She took the money from e-commerce and put it into a hard asset that appreciates and also gives her a tax benefit. Very, very smart. Super, super smart. And then with Dr. Axe, what I want you to notice about his website that's really good is about the colors, the fonts, the quality of the imagery, and also if you look at his YouTube channel,
it's unreal.
See how he has the images and the bold text and everything and the bright colors? His YouTube images and thumbnail images are also brilliant and perfectly correlate for brand consistency.
Now, my wife is from Ukraine, and I try to get her into all this health stuff, and they're like this, like the very skeptical. For what? I need to waste my time, right? It's from Soviet times. I'm like, okay, I understand, but she loves to cook. So what does he have? He has all these cooking videos. So guess what I showed her? Now, every day, everything I have is organic. It's all fresh. It's all amazing. It's all keto. All different things. That she's there. Dr. Axe said this, about tofu. It's bad and blah blah blah, and hummus is good. And so she's making all this stuff. So can you attract your audience through a different side door that they might like he's doing? And he's not in one of his videos, not one of his infographics does he say, buy my stuff.
Shit's okay.
That's right, we're JC's group, yeah. Not once does he say that, not once. He says, hey, subscribe to my channel, subscribe to stuff. But you know what? People are loving it so much because it's such good content that they're watching it like crazy. You guys agree? And they're like, this guy's pretty cool. So he studied, functional medicine and everything else, and the guy's great. I met him personally, and we talked quite a bit too. He started another line called Ancient Nutrition, right, with Dr. Jordan Rubin. I spoke with him as well, and was talking to them about their suppliers. They're in Whole Foods. Walk in there, you'll see, they're in Whole Foods. Dave Asprey, he's in Whole Foods. Bulletproof is in Whole Foods too, right? So you see how that can expand? It can go into the real world also, right? Amazon, right, they knock off all these retailers. Now what are they opening? Stores. They're opening up bookstores. There's one in Seattle. They're opening up these grocery stores, these fresh grocery stores that you go in, you buy something, and it scans you automatically, or scans your card or something like that, and you just walk out, and you're paid automatically through Amazon. Isn't that cool? That's what the world's coming to, the combination of all this stuff, the physical stuff and the information and everything else too. Do you see that? Does that make sense? Yeah, it's pretty cool. Let's go on to the next one here. He had a great pop-up that, when you joined there too. This guy here, look at his website. It's okay. Whoops. But he's really nice.
Pause just for a second here while you're doing that.
He's got some really cool videos, just a nice guy, just sweet guy, family man. He averages $800,000 a month gross sales by just putting out all the stuff too. And he has a whole store with all kinds of supplements too.
Do you know how big his team is that builds content?
That I don't know.
Do you know how big Dr. Axe's team is?
His is pretty, a couple dozen people.
So roughly 20 people are putting out content. Videos,
that's traffic.
Images,
that's
infographics, articles. 20 people. Boom, boom, boom.
But he started with one guy. I met the guy. He started with one guy. Just one guy. Right? Just one guy. I just posted yesterday a picture of Jeff Bezos in 1999 on his computer on a little desk and something too. It's pretty amazing, right? So, hey, everybody starts like that too. So look at it. I look at this and go, this looks like shit. Yeah. I mean, seriously. But he does well because he's got tons and tons of content, videos and everything else. My CTO was working for him. And so he knows all the inner workings and everything else too. So at our boot camps too, my CTO's there and teaching you all kinds of cool stuff too, all this ninja stuff, integrating ClickFunnels with Infusionsoft and all kinds of surveys and all kinds of cool stuff too. We call him Google. He's such a genius too. So let me show you. He was a chiropractor also. He left his practice. John,
you're not going to make $800,000 a month in a clinical practice as a chiropractor.
This guy here,
probably not even.
John likes this, right? You guys have heard of that? On it, right? So they're combining fitness, right? But they've also created a culture, as they say, right? They've created a culture. Joe Rogan is part of it, I think.
Joe
He's an investor.
An equity share. Aubrey is the main person, or at least like the figurehead as well. Obviously, he has a majority share. My understanding is that Joe came in and obviously in the capacity of a figurehead, and he has an equity share, but I'm not sure what his buy-in is or anything like that. But Joe, obviously, when we do the weigh-ins for the fights and stuff like that, he wear the On It shirt.
Very smart.
And he lives that lifestyle too. That's very much Joe Rogan. So it was a
perfect
brilliant choice to choose Joe.
So 2 takeaways from here. One is find a celebrity or become a celebrity, right? Yourself, find a celebrity to work with, right? John's talked about that before. Listen to John. He knows what he's talking about and that stuff. The other thing is this. Have a really good affiliate program. Have a really good affiliate program. Now, what you can also do when you get big enough, you can also have a wholesale program where they buy from you wholesale, but you are still making money on the wholesale as well too, right? So for Bulletproof, I'm talking to them about being wholesale basically, not just an affiliate because they have a larger profit margin too, right? So most of the time, a lot of these places want a physical store. They don't want you competing against them online. But think about that too. Have a wholesale program if you can. Next. I mentioned this a little bit earlier. Right? Bulletproof. Right? It's huge. Started off by selling coffee. He found something, right, that worked, something different, and then he also capitalized. And now he talks about other coffees that have mycotoxins in it and so forth, and his doesn't, and et cetera, et cetera. Started expanding a whole bunch of different things too, right? Has anybody ever heard his stuff on Bulletproof Radio or blog or anything like that? It's really good. Write that down. Check it out. He's got all these different guests all the time on there. Like I said, Dr. Tammy was on her. Check out Bulletproof Radio. Amazing cutting edge stuff. It's not just keto. It's all kinds of cool stuff too. Notice packaging. John talks a lot about that. Obviously, his branding is orange and everything else too. I don't know his numbers, but it's multi-millions. He's got investors, and almost looks like probably, the way I'm seeing it, it's almost looked like it's going to be a buyout here because it's so huge right now. It's that big. That's what you want to do. If you are not building a business that you can turn around and sell, you're working for yourself. You're working for the man, and you are the man or the woman, right? Think about this right here in Las Vegas. There was a show at the Mirage, Siegfried and Roy. You ever heard of it? Right, these magicians years ago. What happened? The tiger one day.
That's horrible.
The tiger. No, you're laughing as an impression of a tiger. What happened was one of the white tigers that they work with in their magic show, right, bit one of the guys and went to the hospital and really bad, almost died. You had a stroke, almost died. They live here in Las Vegas, and the show was done forever, done forever. Right now, you have a group, the Blue Man Group. Who are they? Jabberwockies. Who are they? Cirque du Soleil. Who are they? Exactly. It's not about the person, it's about the brand. That's the same thing with you. If you want to make it about yourself, that's okay. Just be careful that somehow, someday, it's not about you, right? Something can happen. So make it about the brand. It doesn't say Dave Asprey,
Tony,
right?
this is why we changed the name of your company. It's exactly why.
On it, right? It's not about them, it's about that. Now, they're figureheads. Now, can be another figurehead. Could they still sell off, and could they be a consultant later on afterwards? Yeah, you work with at CEO executive levels? Yeah, exactly, right? So that's the way you want to build. Think about Blue Man Group, okay, in your branding, so that it is essentially evergreen. It can last forever beyond you, right? All right, next. Spoke about this earlier. Look at this. Organifi. I've got all these different pop-ups here with e-commerce and so forth, right? He's just grown and grown and grown. He did FitLife.tv. He just grew. He basically learned funnels and all this kind of stuff right from Russell and so forth, and started doing that. And now it's just crazy, a multi-million-dollar company. And when you sign up, it goes into an auto ship automatically kind of thing. It's like you can't even order one at a time. You have to call and cancel. But they're really awesome, great service and everything else. I love this stuff. I love it too, right? So he found something too. He said, Jack LaLanne. I want to be the modern Jack LaLanne, because he talked about juicing way back then, right? These big machines and everything else. So now he wants to bring it to the next level, and that's where he came in and stepped into that game too, and doing very well. Green juice, green drinks, is that pretty popular nowadays? Could you have your own? Dr. Berg has his own, right? Dr. Axe has his own too. Maybe you can have some proprietary blend that you've got, maca, and they don't have maca, or ashwagandha, or whatever the case may be. Don't just think about the exercises and all this kind of stuff. Think about larger ways to do things and incorporate physical products into your game. If you do that, you'll make a lot more money too. And you can have an exit strategy too. And you're not just on that hamster wheel too. And you're not just limited by your physical location. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Do we have time for any questions if they want?
What time is it today?
It's like exactly 1 hour. How's that for a pro?
Chris and Peter will be here in a few minutes, but we're totally fine. And are you good with me continuing to broadcast this? Okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Any questions? Sure.
Okay, so it sounds like what you're saying is a physical product can also be, doesn't have to be like a physical product today. It can be a course?
Yeah, I forgot to show you something here. So, yeah, absolutely. So watch this. Here's a perfect example.
Pause here just for a second after it loads.
Mm-hmm.
Please hold.
Please hold.
Please hold. We'll be with
There
you
it
in
is.
just a moment.
There you go. All right, cool. So we're back to Dr. Axe, right? So look what he's done now. That's his wife. She's a chiropractor also. So he came up with a Keto 360 program, right? Diet program, blah, 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 info product, etc., right? Join the wait list, okay? So there's the info product, right? When you enroll, here's what you get. You get the blueprint, is that popular name. You get all these different capsules and powders. You get an ebook, you get recipe book, etc., credibility, right? Before and after pictures, right? Look at what you get. You get all those things. So basically you get samples of all those things. What's going to happen after you're on those samples? Right? It's the front end of a funnel, right? Continuity, that he's used the info product tied to a physical product. Do you see that? The info product then became the lead magnet essentially too. Does this look like a good deal? $199 for all that? Heck yeah. I bought it at wholesale, but I got it. Right? Absolutely. Why do I want that? I want to watch what he's doing, right? I want to watch what he's doing. Does that make sense?
Anyways, let me just add one quick thing there. That what Larry said is absolutely true. Watch your cable there. What you can do is when you buy from your competitors, or if it's not a competitor, but just someone you want to learn from, I'm going to stand next to you so I get on the mic. Use your ScreenFlow or Camtasia video and record the entire buying process. You want to see what pops up. What are the sequence of the screens? What do they label the URL? What colors do they use? What got you excited? And then you can also see how your mouse tracked, so you can see and understand your behavior as you went through it, because it'll probably be fairly similar because they tested the shit out of it, and you know what's going to work. Okay? So record with a screen capture video when you buy other people's products like this, and then reverse engineer it. Don't steal it. Make it your own. Be authentic. Use your own imagery, etc. But understand the sequence, the process, the logic, and the science that makes it work. And why do you want to buy? Because it's probably the same reasons that the other people want to buy as well. Absolutely.
So I know we're short on time. I also have a slide. I have this also, this program. If you guys want to join, that's great. It wasn't intentional for me to come pitch. We're friends and just come out here and hang out and give you guys some content and get to know some new people and some friends. But if you want, would you like to hear a little bit about our program too that we have too? Okay, great. Here, why don't you just take one, pass it around. I won't do the slides. I'll just go through and talk about the stuff casually instead too.
Can I ask a quick? Obviously, your company, you sound like you distribute some products. What's the breakout between your private label brands and products you distribute?
So what's the difference? I'm not clear on your question then too.
Okay. So you're obviously distributing a number of products. You're doing some e-commerce for some brands. Do you also have your own brands, Larry? Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
Do you try to have a certain percentage of your brand versus distribution?
So when you want to make a private label brand is something is when you know it resonates. It's your brand. So for example, if it's a baseball academy, right? Okay, so you should have your own line of, the gunk, the tar, the whatever, anything that's related, that's your brand also, that's part of the academy. So my friend, for example, has GoSkate. We work with him too, right? So this is what I was telling you earlier. He started by doing skateboard lessons. And then he thought, I need to expand. He travels all over the world, right? So then he said he came up with a site. So you do a search, skateboard lessons, and there you'll show up San Diego. And now he got with all the different ones in San Diego, LA, Las Vegas, all over in every state, every major city. And now he basically brokers it, right? And he gets a piece, right? Was it John Paul Getty said it's better to get a piece of everybody's work than all of your own work kind of thing? So he's done that. So we'll work with people like that too. If you find a really good product or something like that, you need inventory, we have access to funds too, or our own funds that will buy or will partner with you on inventory also. Don't start by buying any kind of inventory at all whatsoever. Like I said, I know this was all over the board, but I just wanted to give you like a big buffet kind of thing too. I just got back from Dubai, and we sold this for thousands and thousands of dollars. In Singapore, it was about $4,000 and so forth. So for you guys, it's what did we do? $997 last time, something like that. Yeah, $997 for this program. So basically, what you're getting here is an online. I just have you a quick look at the modules. That's kind of me going over some of the stuff that I talked about today. Quick start training, a number of different tools and softwares. For those of you that want to help set up here in Nevada Corporation, we can help you do that. We work with NCH, they're the largest company here in Nevada. Infographics on how to minimize your bounce rate, conversions, a cheat sheet of all the things that we do as well. Our suppliers that we use that you can use so you don't have to bounce all over the place too, and some of the ones we've researched internationally as well. We also do a weekly live stream, and we record them too, so it's myself or my coaches or different vendors that come in, different software vendors. You also get access to about 3 years in archives, so it's kind of cool. It's like a library, almost like every topic that you can imagine on e-commerce, and pull it out. Now, one of the things that I recommend too is that you get your team to watch it. So you give your team access to this kind of stuff too. Let us train your team. Let us work with your team too. That's not your job to do that. Your job is to be the CEO of the company. Let us partner with you and build your team and help you do that too. So we also teach about how to do proper outsourcing, right? John and I have talked about that in the past too. We also have outsourced people, VAs, that are trained in e-commerce. Most of the ones that are out there are not trained. They're general ones, like answering the phones and all those kind of things too, customer support. So the gifts at the bottom there in the dark, you also get the boot camps. We do the hands-on boot camps. You get recordings of those, our supplier's guide. Normally, guys, I do this big presentation, and there's people running to the back of the room and all this stuff. Number 4 is I'm going to give you your own personal e-commerce manager that can do sourcing, listing, whatever. I pay for that VA. You get that for 1 month too. 1 month. That would cost you, a few $100 alone, just that. We'll build your own e-commerce site too. So if you want a Shopify store and so forth, our team can help you build that when you're ready also. Okay? How many sites should you have? It depends on what niche that you're going into, right? You can have different verticals. 2 tickets to boot camp. John, you've been to the boot camp, right?
Yeah, it's fun. It blew my mind.
Did you learn a few things?
Actually, I have more pages of notes from your event than any other event I ever went to.
Wow, there you go.
Where are they normally?
Right here. So the next one is April 7th and 8th. April 7th and 8th is the next one. We do them every 30, 45 days. Sometimes we do them Orlando. Sometimes we do them overseas in the UK, Singapore as well. We're working on Dubai also right now, but mostly here every 30, 45 days. So if you can't attend, you can also attend a future one. If you can't attend, you can also watch the live stream and you can ask questions intermittently. And you also get the recordings too on that also, right? April 7th and 8th, right here. It's the next one. Tickets. Now another thing too, book selling course on the side. Anybody have any books sitting at home on a bookshelf that you haven't touched in a few years? Yeah, most people have about $2,000 to $3,000 worth of books sitting at home, at least the level of you guys, right? That have at home, they're sitting there. Hey, it might be a little side business or something too that somebody in your family can do and sell books also. You'd be amazed. People give away books. I get paid to take away books because people are moving, whatever also. Books have one of the highest profit margins there is because people will value entertainment more than they will education. True or true? Yeah. So we get books for a penny. I mean, I get a whole, garage full of stuff for $20. It's crazy. All kinds of things too. Yeah. So again, what's the highest best use of your time? That's probably not for you guys, right? But is there somebody, family or friends that could utilize that? There probably is, right?
Selling books where?
Online, on Amazon, wherever, right? Online, yeah. You can send them right into Amazon. You're done too. On top of that, also. So we give you all those things. Just typically the website alone and the VA is worth a lot, right? So we do that for you. So it's $9.97. That's pretty much our break even, guys, because I have hard costs on that too, and our team. Your buddy, your partner, he went to one of our boot camps, right? He gave us a nice time out. Did he like it? He's blown away. Yeah, you're supposed to come to the next one too. Yeah. So I'm watching you. So the boot camps, I promise you'll learn a lot. Like I said, it's disjointed. It's actually structured at our boot camps and organized and so forth. And our support team's there for you. Our CTO and his team are with you as well. If the $9.97 is a stretch, we'll do like 3 payments of like $3.98, something like that too. If you want to do a 3 pay, that's fine too. Also, I promise you that we'll open your eyes. I promise you that you will make many, many more times over on that. And I promise you that you will kick yourself in a year from now if you're not in e-commerce on some level. And if you are in e-commerce, like you are, for example, you definitely will take it to the next level. No doubt about that too. So if you got 5 minutes, I can work with him and give him some ideas too. You got time for that?
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So why don't we get you on a hot seat too on top of that too? Is that okay?
Yeah. Is it okay if we broadcast this?
Yeah.
Okay, come on over here. Let's see. Where's your packaging? I want to see it. Where's your stuff? Give me your box.
Do you want to use the gift package to show?
Oh, to show Larry?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can. Show it.
It's a black box right over there.
Yeah, you can grab that.
This is not our. This is a new product that will be out in
Okay.
60 days.
Okay, cool.
So Larry, why don't you tell people watching live on Facebook what you're going to do right now?
All right, cool. By the way, for those of you that do want to join our course, see Danny. He's the money man. He'll sign you all up too. We've got all kinds of order forms and everything too.
Good stuff.
All right.
So this brand hasn't been launched yet.
Okay. So what I want to know is a little bit about yourself first.
Okay.
So speak up so we can pick
Yeah,
up
let's
on
do.
this.
We'll do this compressed because the other guys are coming in 5 minutes, and I also want to make sure that everybody that wants to sign up that we've had enough time to do that
Yeah,
too.
you're good.
So tell me about what your business is, what you do.
So my name is Mike Williams.
Come a little
and,
closer, you guys, just so I can pick you up on this mic.
We have 2 brands to date.
Where do you live?
I live in South Lake, Texas, Keller, Texas.
Is that where your business is?
It is.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
So we're 2 brands. We're I Relieve and our new brand Playmaker. We've been very focused on electrotherapy, over-the-counter electrotherapy. My history was on the prescription and medical device side. Saw the RX to OTC switch of this product category in 2014. Thought this would be a good opportunity to take to the mass market retailers before they actually had OTC muscle stem products. Walmart, Costco, Sam's Club, Target, all those guys, and did well, picked up all those guys, brought it to Amazon, saw tremendous growth, and really it was there that
You're not selling it yet, though, right?
our other brand, I Relieve, yeah, we're on all those.
All right. So rather than long dissertation, let me ask you questions in a quick bullet point answer. Is that okay?
Sure.
So that way we cover a lot more too. So I saw you guys. I saw yesterday on live. I was watching you guys on the internet. So I saw a little bit about the interaction that you were doing too. So what's your main goal with this?
With this new product?
Yep.
This new product is for fitness, and specifically for athletes and for fitness enthusiasts, the weekend warriors, competitive athletes.
Okay. Great. So I buy this from you, right? How much should I pay for this?
Yes, sir. The retail price is $400. We're gonna probably do some testing, but $297.
Okay. What's wholesale? What's your hard cost? Shark
now
Tank.
you're
Here we go. Shark Tank.
Now
Hard cost.
you're getting crazy here.
Shark.
My system as it is without this particular box is $82.
Okay. Good. So it's got some margin in
Yeah,
it too,
so
right?
we basically got keystone level pricing at every level, and we built that based on the opportunity to be able to substantiate 50 to 60 points
Okay,
to a retailer.
stop. Okay, so I'm being your coach now, right? So I say this with all our high-end people too that we work with. I say this with John. Do you want the candy or do you want the medicine? The candy makes you feel good, right? And it's what most people keep up the good work and they backslap. The medicine tastes like shit, but it's going to make you better, right? So is it okay I give you medicine?
Give you some medicine.
Okay, good. Are you sure? It doesn't taste good.
This is a new product here. But
Doesn't taste good. Medicine, okay, good. Well, we're still friends, right? Okay, good. So I buy this from you, right? I'm done. I walk away if this cord follows me. How do you still make money off of me?
We have what's called a pad club. We have continuity as a relationship.
Okay, good. So the pad club is for replacements and so forth? Are they auto shipped?
They are.
They are? Okay, great. So subscription model too. Is there any kind of cream or anything like that too? Okay, great. Okay, great. So have you attempted to, so are you thinking about getting into the big box
We are
stores?
a big box.
Okay, good. Have you gone international with this?
We're in Canada and it's growing, but beyond that, we're trying to just.
This would be huge in Asia, huge. They would eat this up all day long. Maybe a different price point or something else too. So that's some of the things that you want to think of also, right? Don't just think domestic. If you start doing something really well here, start scaling outside of these walls, okay? Outside of the country too. You want to think big like that also. Good. So this packaging is really appealing to us guys. Ladies, do you like this packaging?
No.
No?
I think it's cool, actually. Yeah.
So then, again, test, right? Do surveys and so forth. Do the testing on who your avatar and what that is. Because do people judge a book by its cover? Yeah, all day
Can
long
you open
too.
that up, Larry, and kind of look inside here?
I didn't wanna-
We did this yesterday when we did unboxing.
Yeah, I
Just
saw that.
Can you cheat it towards the camera a little bit?
Yeah.
for us? There we go.
That's just for these guys.
This is very well done, right? Very, very well done.
Well, look,
It's
wait till you
excellent.
open it up. It's insane.
I saw that. There's a little video on the
Yeah,
inside
it's so
too.
cool.
That's really, really good. Slides out, pulls out.
On the front.
Yeah, the
Okay, there you go.
or cheat it towards me a little bit.
It's awesome.
It's
So-
awesome video plays when you open up the bag.
So that's totally cool. So some of the things too that you want to do with all kinds of products too is once you have something that's working, see how you can then scale it, right? So how can you scale this? Can you do different components? Can you do a pro version? Can you do a light version? And not just that, right? So I'm sure you're already thinking about those things too, right?
I need the medicine, Larry.
Yeah. So
Give me the miss.
also, who's doing the manufacturing on this?
Our private label manufacturer.
Okay. So, all right. So I'm trying to answer for you and for you also. Always want to make sure that you're shopping around for manufacturers too, right? Different things. Think about how this works. So, for example, Dave Asprey just came out with something called the Vibe. So it's basically those plates, the vibration plates, but he says, so his is a certain frequency that nobody has, that NASA uses, and blah, 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 and his is very unique, and sells it for $1,500, right? Then he'll talk about, well, you should take glutathione, whatever, too. So then he relates it to some kind of supplement that essentially will enhance what the product does. So if you can relate some supplement to this besides the cream, whatever, that will help them, whether it's burn fat or whatever the case may be, then that's it too, or some info product that will tie into that. You see that?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, some continuity.
That's brilliant. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, that's good.
So what type of supplement? You have to be careful, obviously, the claim, and we know that.
Absolutely.
But what kind of supplement would be appropriate for pain management? It might be like an arnica cream that you could use also to reduce inflammation.
Well, that's the one thing too that, sorry to interrupt you. You were talking about earlier about funnels and so forth. So you can do a funnel survey at the beginning, like click, what are you looking for this to do? To help, with muscle relaxation. I have, muscle pain, joint pain. I want to increase muscle mass, whatever it is. And so you take them on that path and you sell them accordingly on the benefits that this will do for them. Then accordingly, those supplements will be for that particular patient or client versus the other guy that's looking for different. So you're relating. So it's a very specific match that you're doing for them too, right? Yeah, you should be doing like hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of supplements on top of this too, very easily. And then just getting, have you done like giving this away to celebrities for them to use and getting them on video, right?
Something like that happened yesterday.
Yeah, you gave that to that celebrity. Yeah,
he's a C-rated cable sensation, but
we can get this. So, for example, do you think that maybe this might work with Dr. Tammy, for example? Yeah, absolutely, right? All day long, right? So we know other doctors too, right? Yeah. So could you
private label it for her?
Yeah, absolutely, right? Exactly. Could you private label for them?
Let her, then Dr. Ash, what if you could create that whole thing for them? Maybe you might even drop ship it for them, and you still get 25, 30%, but now they benefit, but their network is 100 times larger than yours.
Did you see his reaction? He went, well, you know what? That was right. That's the ego. No, man, I want to keep this for myself for now. That's what we all want, right? That's what we all want.
It's their claim.
What if
You're not
Onyx
making
would
the
have
claim.
followed that model? What does it do, though?
The key is this. It's not about you. Blue Man Group, right? So it's about the bigger numbers and so forth. Initially, when you start off, yeah, you need to get it. So could you get on Bulletproof Radio? Maybe I can make an introduction to Dave and so forth, right?
I mean, obviously, when you're talking about buy box, the buy box, we own the brand. We're not on a rotation. If
Awesome.
Dr. Tammy's got a version of it, we then are competing in the market.
No, so then you don't allow so good point that he brought up, right? That you don't know what you don't know. You don't allow your distributors, whatever, to sell on Amazon. You don't allow them to sell it against you. You don't want that. You want those channels that you're not. You want them into lakes and rivers and oceans that you're not in, that they can get in, that maybe you want to be later. You don't want them fishing in that same lake as you are. Does that make sense? So you make sure that that's an exclusive on that too. So like, example with Bulletproof, they're going, look, dude, you can't sell on Amazon. I'm like, okay, I understand. No problem. But I can sell to you guys. Like I just, whatever too, if I wanted to, right? On those channels too. So you make sure that you do that. So start thinking about those things too. You got something here that's worth a lot, definitely a lot. You just got to get that out there. The number one thing that you need to focus on is this. This is the number one nugget, if anything else I'll leave you with. What's the highest and best use of your time? What's the highest and best use of your time? Maybe for you now, it's getting out there with the influencers, with the people that can really get this to the masses for you too. And maybe endorse it or whatever, or partner with them, or a paid spokesperson too. Most of those people that you see on TV and whatever else, they're paid spokespersons, right? It's the same thing that you can do also with your brand. Baseball Academy, can you get some baseball stars on there or whatever too, right? Different things like that also. So I can give you a lot more, but we're pressed for time too, so glad to stick around. Was that helpful?
Yep.
Cool. And you guys want to join us? I'm be over here answering any questions too. Danny will take your money and we're good to go too, okay? Thank you very much. I'm Larry Loik. See you guys now.
Thank you guys.
Thanks, Larry. Good job.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thanks.